I'm excited to start this new chapter, chapter 10. In this chapter, we're going to study a lot of exciting materials about consumer mathematics. Something relates to banking, relates to buying a home, to obtain a loan, to buying a car loan, and so on. So those are mathematics closely related to your daily life. So it's very interesting. I hope you will enjoy it. So in this section, very first section, we're gonna establish some foundations, namely understand the percent and how a percent convert to a decimal number and vice versa. So in this section, you will study convert between a percent and a fraction and a decimal number, and also you want to look at percent change and percent markup, markdown, and we can look at some other application problems. Percent or percent is just a ratio of some number to 100. I think this is a perfect definition. It's a ratio of a number to 100. So what does that mean? Okay, so let's see. So 15 over 100, that's a number, that's a ratio of number 15 to 100. So by definition, is 15%. X over 100, that's a ratio of X to 100. By definition, is X%. So vice versa. So X%. So X% equals to X over 100. So this really is a definition of percent. So everybody needs to memorize this. So 1% equals to 1 over 100. 100%. What's 100%? Equals to 100 over 100. Now what's 200%? 200 over 100, where in this case really just 2. Now how we change a fraction to a percent? Or by fraction we means, a number in the form of b over a, right? So what we do is first obtain the decimal format of the fraction, okay? And then you can do is the 2 and the 3, you multiply the decimal number by 100, then add a percent sign. Now 2 and 3 really just means that multiplied by 1, which is multiplied by 100 over 100, or multiplied 100%. Okay, notice 100% is 1. So first, you obtain a decimal representation of the fraction a over b, and then multiply the decimal number by 100%. So that's the way to see it. So let's see, 67 over 100. Really, here we don't need to do anything because by definition, this is 67%. Or you could think in the following way, 67 over 100 is 0.67, and then 0.67 multiplied 100% equals to 67%. So you can think this way. Now 11 over 20. Okay, here a quick way to do this is, remember percent always is the ratio of a number divided by 100, or ratio of a number to 100. So the bottom is 20. You can multiply the bottom by 5 to get 100. But to keep the value unchanged, you need to multiply the top by 5. So therefore, you have a 55 over 100 which obviously by definition is 55%. So that's a quick way to find the percent representation of 11 over 20. Of course, you can also alternatively you can find 11 over 20 equals to 0.55, and then you multiply 0.55 by 100%, and that gives you 55%. That's another way to do it. Okay, now let's look at 15 over 16. I already did this. Let me just and so I already did this. So let's do this. So 15 over 16, we first need to convert this to a decimal, and you can use a calculator to find it's 0.9375. Okay, so next 0.9375 multiply to 100 equal to 93.75, right? Therefore, 15 over 16 equals 93.75%. Again, here, mathematically, it really means 0.9375 multiplied by 100%, which is 1, so nothing is changed, but the form it's written now it's in percent format. Okay. Now, how we change a decimal number to a percent? You do the following two steps: multiplying decimal number by 100 and a percent sign. Again, those are non-mathematical description. Mathematically just means that multiplied by 100%, which is 1, right? 100% is 1, so nothing has changed. Okay, so let's see, 0.14 equals to, we want to change this to a percent, right? 0.14 equal to 0.14 times 100%. Again, 100% is 1. And then 100 multiplied to 0.14, that's 14. And percent sign doesn't change, you just copy that. 0.893 again, 8.93 multiplied to 100%. Again, 100% is 1, and 0.893 times 100 is 89.3% sign. So once you get used to this, now to change your decimal number to percent representation, what you can do it, because you're going to multiply the number by 100, right? And so what you can do is move the decimal twice to the right. So obtain 76.25, right? After multiplying a number by 100, you move the decimal to the right by 2 places and the percent sign. So mathematically, it should go like that, but once you get used to it, usually you can easily get to the percent representation. Now, how about we going backward, converting a decimal number to percent? Oh, well, we just did this, so let's just quickly. Now, how about this? Change a percent to a decimal number. Here is the steps. Remove the percent sign, divide the number by 100. Really, it's just applying x% equal to x over 100. Okay, so this is mathematically, you really need to understand this. Don't, the steps are correct, but in my opinion, they hinder the understanding. Okay, so let's look at an example. Change 35% to a decimal number, or should be straightforward. 35% equals to 35 over 100 equals to 0.35, right? 69.8% equals to 69.8 divided by 100 equal to 0.698, right? 0.5% equals, or first, either way, you can first convert 1/2 to 0.5, right? 0.5%, and that's 0.5 divided by 100, and this is 0.005. So you move the decimal to the left 2 times, 2 places, you get 0.005. Okay, should be straightforward. We did this. Percent change, or here we deal with change. Okay, so the change is either going up or going down. So we have percent increase or percent decrease. Increase is 1% going up, decrease is 1% going down. Now, how we calculate the change? Well, the change should be straightforward. Change should be a difference, right? Change is amount in later or latest period. I would rather to say it's a later period minus the amount in previous period. Now, and this difference compared to the amount in the previous period, okay? And then you multiply it by 100%, basically convert it to percent to get the percent change. So you actually just calculate the a relative change, and then you convert it to percent change. So really, this is sometimes called relative change. You'll hear similar name in either in mathematics or in some other disciplines. Okay, so let's look at an example. Now, obviously, that if the amount in the later period is greater than the answer will be positive. That means that there is a percent increase. Vice versa, there is a percent decrease. Okay, straightforward. So let's see the Major League Baseball team. Okay, in 2013, the Los Angeles won 78 games. In 2014, a year later, the Angels won 98 games more. Determine the percent increase in the number of games won by the Angels from 2013 to 2014. So, this should be straightforward. So the percent change equal to amount in later period minus the amount in previous period divided by the amount in the previous period, then convert that to percent sign, right? So we got the 98 for 2014 and 78 for 2013, and take the difference divided by 78 and then convert it to percent. Okay, so that equals 20 over 78 multiplied to 100%, and you can calculate 20 over 78 is 0.2564, and times 100%, obviously that equal 25.6%. Okay, so the percent change in the game won by the Los Angeles team from 2013 to 2014 is or was 25.6%. Okay, markup, markdown. So typically, a seller will mark up a commodity to sell it, right? But sometimes they mark it down just because it doesn't get sold. They need to sell it quickly. They mark down the price. Okay, so the markup will mark down basically always equal to selling price minus the cost divided by the cost, and then convert it to percent. Okay, convert it to percent meaning times 100%. 100% is 1. Don't forget that. Okay, and nothing changed by multiplying by 1. Okay, so it's markup or markdown. Okay, so let's see that this Holdren hardware stores pay 48.76 for gas fireplace screens they sell them for 79.88 regularly, and at a sale, they sell them still higher than their cost by 69.99. We want to determine the percent markup on the regular price and also the percent markup on the sale price. Okay, this also should be straightforward. Let's see. Um, on a regular sale, the price was 79.88. The cost is 48.76. So take the difference divided by the cost and convert it to percent sign. That means multiply it to 100%. So this equals to, or the difference divided by 48.76 equal to 0.6382 multiplied by 100% equal to 63.8%. So the markup for regular selling price is quite high, more than half, I guess 63.8%. What about the price for sale? Well, it's 69.99 minus the cost divided by cost, and then convert to. Notice I always say convert to percent sign because that's equivalent to saying multiply by 100% or multiplying by 1. And again, the fraction after you take difference, then take division, you get 0.4354 and multiply it to 100%, you get 43.5%. That's a markup for a sale price, which is still quite high. So, you know, they make a lot of money. Well, let's look at this down payment on condominium home. Okay, Manisa wishes to buy a condominium home for $189,000, quite reasonable. Similar, I would say this perhaps is a fair price in Montgomery. To obtain the mortgage loan, she must pay 20% of the selling price as a down payment. This is typical if you do not want to pay mortgage insurance. Okay, determine the amount of Melissa's down payment. So basically, Melissa needs to pay 20% of the selling price, 189,000. Okay, this should be straightforward. So the down payment, suppose the down payment is X. Okay, down payment is represented by X is 20% of the selling price, right? So 20% is converted to decimal. When you do actual calculation, you use a percent, you really need to convert it to a decimal number, okay? Multiply it to 189,000, you get 37,800. That's her down payment for buying the condominium. Okay. So by the way, I want to say a few words. Sometimes people get confused, and this should be very, very clear. So let's see. One. So X% of let's see a number N. So this will always equal to X% of times N. Okay, so remember X% is X divided by 100 times X. So this is what we are doing here. 20% of 189,000. So in this case, X, 20%, let's just say 20% of 189,000, right, is equal to 20% times 189,000 equal to 20 over 100 times 189,000, right? And equals to 37,800. Okay, so so this is a universal formula. Let's see, 1% of 10. What is that? Or 1% times 10, right? So 1% is 1 over 100, right? Times 10. It's 10 over 100 is 0.1. Yeah. Let's see, 10% of 100, or equal 10% times 100 equals to 10 over 100. That's 10% times 100 equals to 10. So once you get understanding this, then everything becomes fairly straightforward.